Hello friends, welcome back to another Off the Cuff Ramble with me, FPL Mez. Good morning, afternoon and evening, wherever you are. It's evening over here, and starting a little bit late because it just happens to be the same time that Rob T graphic drops as well around the clean sheet odds. Um, yeah, and also goals, and so yeah, I'm grabbing some of these graphics as they're dropping, but also I also noticed that there was a Gabrielle sighting as well, something I'm interested in because I've got Gabrielle in my team too. So yeah, I'm really sorry that I was running late. Thank you so much to everyone that is tuning in for the first time, or yeah, I guess like there's a bunch of you that are tuning in for the first time. So thank you so much for tuning in. So I'm just going to quickly say hi's in the chat. So Joseph Robinson, thank you so much. Yeah, I've seen you in the chat in Ryan's streams as well, and I'm so pleased to see that you're tuning in. Thank you again for joining and subscribing as well. Keith, so great to see you. I saw you on Sunday in the other Ryan's chat as well. So yeah, so great to have you. Thank you again. Chris, brilliant. Yeah, so I'm new to Blue Sky and really enjoying Blue Sky as well. So I have to admit, there's been occasions where I've forgotten as well, like, you know, when days get really busy, work days, that kind of thing, I tend to gravitate towards X. And then I've just now changed the placement of my X app and the Blue Sky app. And so I've got them, you know, I've got the Blue Sky app on my main page on my phone now. So it reminds me that there is an app called Blue Sky as well. So I guess it's a bit of that sort of just getting used to that Blue Sky is there and the engagement's so good on there as well. So thank you so much if you're tuning in for Blue Sky as well. Great to have you. And Chris, I didn't realize you were also from Australia. So yeah, amazing. So good. Who else is in the chat? Chaz, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm looking forward to sharing some news that, well, you're in the UK and I'm going to be catching up with you fairly soon as well. SJ, great to see you. Poona, Rahul, lovely to have you in the chat. Do not cause havoc in this chat, please. You know, I've just seen a Gabrielle sighting. Do not make shit up. But yeah, but please do share some wisdom as well. So thank you. Hey Tien, great to see you in the chat as well. And Colm, always tuning in. Thank you so much again for joining. And FPL FOMO, lovely to have you in the chat as well. So this stream today, I have no idea how long it's going to go on for. So I always say, oh, I'll try and do a short stream, and then I just end up rambling, and that's pretty much what these streams are about, or at least my videos are about. They're very off the cuff, very little preparation goes in them. I'm sharing my FPL journey. I want to share with you how I'm doing, the highs and lows, and it's definitely been a low this time as well. So I'm looking forward to just sharing all the things with you guys, and hopefully you can embark some wisdom on me and share some good stuff with me through the game weeks that you've had as well. And I know many of you have had phenomenal game weeks. I've seen some scores in like the 70s, 80s, even higher. So, you know, meanwhile, I couldn't even get to 40. So that's a bit of a spoiler of how my game week went. Not been good at all. Yeah, like you would never stir some havoc. Well, actually, I'll give a couple of I always like to give some life updates as well with what's happening and all the things that are going on, because these streams are very much about sort of FPL and life and, you know, everything in between as well. So I'm heading over to the UK, going back to my motherland. So where I was born and brought up. So yeah, I'm heading back home to London next Friday, just ahead of game week 17. So I think I arrive early hours of Saturday morning local time in GMT. And so, yeah, I'm hoping that I'm not going to be overly jet lagged. I'm going to try and, you know, sleep on the flight, but also it gives me enough time to sort out my team and just catch up on the overnight news and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to heading over to the UK. I'm only going to be there for like 2.5 weeks, and so hopefully I'll be able to hit up some of you when I'm in town in the UK. I'm not sure if there's anything happening from a meets point of view. Like when I was in the UK last year, I managed to catch up with a bunch of FPL meets, and so I'll see how it goes. It'll be nice to see everyone, actually. We'll see how it goes. But in other news, I managed to snag some tickets for Chazza, so Charlie, who is in the chat as well, who's moved over to the UK. But I managed to snag some tickets to go and see Spurs versus Liverpool on Sunday. What will be Sunday local time and early hours of Monday morning for us over here in Australia. But I'm so excited to be at the Spurs Stadium and go to White Hart Lane. It's a stadium I've not been to, and it will also be the first time I'm seeing Liverpool live in about 13 years. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I'm really looking forward to catching up with Chaz in London as well. And so, yeah, it should be a really good FPL meetup while we're in the UK and touring the sights of London. So yeah, very very happy about that. But also to go and support Big Ange as well. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully it's not going to be his last match. I'm joking about it, but you know anything can happen with the managers at the moment and how things are going. So yeah, very very much looking forward to it. What else is going on in the chat? Thank you guys so much for just chatting away, and feel free to like drop me some questions in between as well. Probably do some tiny few questions at the end or something. But GV, great to see you in the chat. And mixture of Aussie and British accent. Yeah, absolutely. I've been in Australia 10 years now. So I moved here for like a year or something, 2 years, and then Brexit happened, and America was like, hold my beer, we're going to bring Trump in. And this is supposed to be a non-political stream. But so much shit happened. There was like global shit happening. And then I was like, actually, I'm quite comfortable here in Australia. And then COVID happened. And we've only got like 24 million people in the country. So I was like, probably the safest place to be down under. Stayed here, became a citizen, and then decided to stay. And so, yeah, I don't know, maybe in the future I'll move back to the UK. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, really enjoying being in Australia. We had a 26-degree-ish day today in Sydney. So I started sipping on my wine. So I've got a really nice bottle of rosé that I'm drinking, which had a cricketer on there. I can't remember the name of it now, top of my head. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying being in Australia. So, cheers to 10 years over here. What else is going on? I think we'll get started with how much of a clusterfuck my game week was. So like all things, we'll chat about what my bus team was like going into game week 15. That's really great to hear, Puna, about the stadium. I'm really excited about it. I'm so like, as soon as we got the tickets, it was like, yes. It's been a long time for me anyway. So game week 15, this was the bus team that I was going into game week 15. It was such a mess, honestly. So I was so excited about the Merseyside derby, can I just say? That was probably the highlight of the weekend that I was looking forward to. I mean, I started packing and, just had lots of life, errands and stuff, admin to do. But the thing that I was looking forward to was the Merseyside derby, and that did not happen. And then, that basically meant, what do I do with my captaincy? And so initially I had my captaincy on Salah, had my vice captaincy on Saka. And I honestly didn't think too hard about the vice captaincy. I was just thinking, Fulham's conceded lots of goals as well. Arsenal are looking back on form as well. So yeah, I'll probably put it on Saka. Maybe I overestimated how Spurs would perform at home. I think, that's all I can put it down to. I think I overestimated how Spurs would perform at home. Let me know if you captained anyone outside of Palmer, because I feel like I majorly sort of, just oversight. Like I just didn't really think about Palmer as a captaincy option until, push came to shove and I had to put my captaincy armband on, Saka, because the Merseyside derby was off. Hey PSB, so great to see you. I know it's a really awkward time for you over in India, so thank you so much for tuning in. Actually, those of you that have tuned in from anywhere in between, Australia and the UK, it's about like 3:30, 4 o'clock, in the afternoon for you guys. So yeah, really appreciate it. It's a bit of an awkward time. Great to see you in chat, PSB. And so I ended up putting my captaincy on Saka. And honestly, I did not look further from that. I sort of put it on Saka and was like, yeah, there's just no way I'm going to go anywhere else. And I remember, I think it was Mike, one of the guys in our Sydney FPL meets and FPL Australian community who said, don't you want to put your captaincy on Palmer? And I was like, no, I'm just feeling Saka this week. And, you know, yeah, I just want to be different and want to have some fun as well. And I guess it was because Palmer hadn't really been performing that well. And so I guess I just overlooked it. Anyway, so that was my bus team. And obviously, you know how it went. But going into the score and, you know, how things went down. So interestingly, I did a couple of like refreshes later. I sort of captured these screen grabs when, you know, the game week ended and it suggested I was like 19,329, but actually it ended up being 18,700 and something, 38 or so, which is not all that different. But I don't know, that 8 versus the 9 makes a huge difference, which is hilarious. Anyway, I'm just being a nerd about it now. But look, I scored 39 points. Let me know if you scored lower than 39 points. I scored 39 points. In fact, my brother-in-law, who's family, well, he's in my family mini league, and you know, one of the main family members who got me into FPL in the first place. He definitely did a hold my beer. I'm going to go and get lower points than you, Mira, because he ended up on 34 points. And so, yeah, I thought I was having a bad game week, and he captained Jackson. So, yeah, shout out to my brother-in-law, Nikhil, who unfortunately got a lower game week score than I did this week, which is very, very unfortunate. Anyway, so 39 points. I played Fabianski ahead of Flecken. Can you believe? So I'm going to go a little bit of back and forth between all the 50-50 calls that went wrong. So I'll show you what I mean. So this is some of the 50-50 calls that went wrong. And it quite literally, so for those that are tuning in on the podcast, it quite literally ended up being the scene from Back to the Future where the car, like Biff is in the car and he sort of just speeds off and then hits like a truck full of manure and it just falls on the car. That's what it felt like this game week. It was just the clusterfuckery of all clusterfuckeries. Anyway, so I'll go back over here. So apologies, there's going to be a little bit of motion sickness as I move between those two, a couple of those slides there. So I played Fabianski ahead of Flecken. Flecken went and got a assist, and then he got a yellow card or something like that. But he ended up on 3 points. Fabianski got 2, whatever. Okay, fine. Robinson got subbed on because Gabriel didn't play. Fucking Gabriel, my love-hate relationship with Gabriel's just been intense over the last, I don't know, couple of seasons now. I have no idea. You know, I feel like I keep bringing him in, keep taking him out, bringing him in, taking him out. And last 2 seasons, I've just brought him in and sort of gone, okay, you're staying in my team. You're not going anywhere. Everything is good. Lewis. Now, I had Ryan Nori in my team. So the other 50-50 call, let's just go back over there. Let's look at some of these before, you know, did I even put that one there? There you go. Took out Ran, who got an assist. And so I brought in Timber, but I could have taken out Lewis. So I was thinking about taking out Lewis, ended up taking out Ran. That was the other 50-50 call, right? Like, to be fair, he also got 4 points also. So it was not like he got more points or anything like that. But then Lewis went and got a fucking red card. What the hell? What the hell? Like, just of all the things it was almost like soon as the Merseyside derby was off, all the decisions, like my whole game week just went, you know what? You've had positive variance for the last 14 game weeks. How about we give you all the shit in one go in game week 15? And that's exactly what happened. Anyway, so we'll go back to where I was over here. So Lewis, 4 points, got a red card, idiot. To be fair, it shouldn't have been a red card for him. Brought in Timber. I don't know. Look, I'm okay with the Timber move. I don't know what I was expecting with that. I guess maybe some goal action or a clean sheet would have been really good, but whatever. I'm going to take a swig because I realised I could just ramble on about this, but I'm going to take a big swig because I think I need it for this part of the conversation. I agree. I agree. Um, hey, Marcus, great to see you in the chat. Love the FPL rage. Yep. Yep. Chris, the truck hit the wind that postponed, yeah, basically postponed the Everton Liverpool. It was so bad. Honestly, I'm so sad about that. And agree, it was a wrong card. For that red card decision, which isn't ideal. I'm going to try and keep up with the chat as much as possible as well. Yeah. So the part of the I guess the midfield. Let's jump onto the midfield. Gordon. So what did I do? I took out Brian Mbumo. I took out Brian Mbumo. Of all the weeks to take out Brian Mbumo, I take out Brian Mbumo, and then I bring in Gordon. What happens to Gordon? Gordon gets benched. So another call there where I was like, Gordon's a great pick, but you just couldn't make that shit up. Anyway, so I took out, like I mentioned, I took out Ran, brought in Timber, took out Brian Mbumo, brought in Gordon. And yeah, I got 1 point there. But look at that, 4.6 around me at the time, at the moment. That would have been huge if he played and got an assist or something. It would have made a massive difference. Saka captaincy, I don't know what to say about this actually, because I feel like that goal, if that goal had stood, to be fair, if that goal had stood, I still would have been down on points, right? Yeah, you're right. Great to see you, Ash. I just realized I used your tweet down here. So FPL Crisis, who's from the Australian FPL community over here in Sydney as well. We had similar issues, right? So FPL Crisis sold Mbumo, capped Saka, took a hit, and going to end up with 10 players. I'm fine. And a huge tidal wave. I mean, yeah, that's basically what it felt like. And then, on top of that, I had my additional sort of moments as well. So the Lewis, red card, of course, and no sign of Gabrielle, of course. All of these things just went wrong. And Greaves, actually, can we just have a moment to chat about what the fuck that's about as well? Like, why is McKenna not putting centre backs on his bench? What is that about? Does anyone know actually what's going on there? Because I've not really looked into it too much, but he didn't even make the bench. What do you mean you don't even make the bench? And why on earth did we go to Greaves? If you have Greaves in your team, what are you doing? Are you just going to keep him on your third bench? Because, yeah, maybe I'm doing the same. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just it really sucks, honestly, because I didn't have many options, to play with. And this is kind of my predicament going into game week 16 as well. Palmer, wow, what a baller. What a baller. Yeah, I am definitely full of rage. I'm full of rage because it's almost like, I've been super zen, the last couple of game weeks. I've had a couple of red arrows, right? And nothing wrong with that. I'm in a really, really good position. I'm in a luxury position still. And whilst it's a 313% red arrow, yes, 313 fucking percent red arrow. That is the biggest red arrow I have ever had. But I'm in this really good position still. I'm still in this top 20k. So I can't complain, honestly. It's like, read the room. I cannot complain that I'm still in the top 20k. So reality check for myself, it's really not that bad. But look at my game week rank. Almost 9 million. There's 10 million players, for fuck's sake. 9 million. So funny, so funny. Anyway, Palmer, what a baller. At the same time, 2 pens. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? 2 pens, that's the second lot of that sort of shit just piling up on my car. That's what it felt like. It was just, Saka getting that goal and then Martinelli being offside. Just honestly, you just can't make that shit up. This is probably a good moment to say these are typically how my videos and streams go. So please do like and subscribe if this is the type of content that you enjoy. Look, I really do appreciate it. It's very much about my journey. I'm not gonna shove players down your throat to say you've got to go for this player and just bombard you with a lot of data. There's some amazing FPL content creators out there, especially over here in Australia. So please do find those and check those out if that's the kind of streams that you're looking for. This is very much about my journey and me sharing my journey with the FPL community. So please do like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. So 313% red arrow. So one of the nice things about live FPL is that one of the new features on there, you can go in there and you can change up, the points. So you can add sort of, if Bruno scored 2 goals or Isak scored 2 goals, and, what happens if I change my captaincy. So I put my captaincy on Palmer to just to get a bit of a reflection on what the points would say. And I would have still been on a red arrow. I couldn't believe that. My safety score was really high. It was 62. So I still would have been on a red arrow because Brian Mbeumo, Isak, Bruno, Wood, bloody Chris Wood. Seriously, that guy's just inevitable, right? Like Chris Wood, just seriously, honestly. Hey, Colm, you weren't tuned into my streams last season. I was 3 to 4 million for about half the season. So, yeah, for sure. Anyway, so look, I would have been on a red arrow regardless, and you got to take it on the chin. I think, look, all jokes aside, all rage aside, you got to take it on the chin. I had an auto sub from Rogers, only 2 points, and only honestly expected more. But then I really do feel bad for the Watkins owners and then captainers as well. And there was a lot of people that missed the deadline that had Salah captain and then Watkins vice captain as well. So I came across a lot of, people on my Blue Sky and X Street, feed where they had either sort of vice captains on, Watkins, and yeah, I couldn't believe that. And yeah, you really got to feel for them, because that really sucks. I mean, against Southampton as well, you would expect goals in that. You'd expect to start as well. So yeah, that was a real shame. So anyway, Rogers got auto subbed on for 2 minutes, for 2 points. Nicholas Jackson has been a little bit quiet, so he came on. I had him playing for 2 points. João Pedro, 2 points. Cunha, 1 point. Honestly, you just couldn't make it up. And if you look at my bench, Flecken 3 points. Yeah, maybe would have made a bit of a difference, but I was way off. I had like minus 23 gained points, right? Minus 23. I was way off. So I dropped rank by about 14,000 or so. It's okay. It's all right. I'm still in top 20k. Shit happens. I've had worse drops, like as in, being in the millions and dropping around then. Honestly, it could be a lot worse. So going from like 4.6 thousand in the world to 19,000 or 18,000 or so, it could be a lot worse. So it's okay. It's not that bad. But if I go back to my my 50-50 calls, holy shit. So like just to kind of summarize those, especially those that are tuning in on podcast, because I am putting this up as a podcast after lots of people requesting just an audio sort of version of it. So Mbeumo was out for Gordon, who got benched. I captained Saka over Palmer. I took out Ran, who got an assist for Timber, who got only 2 points. I kept Lewis, so I chose to keep Lewis over Ran, who got an assist too, but a red card. Greaves doesn't even make the fucking bench. No sign of Gabriel. Flecken gets an assist, and I played Fabianski. Am I missing anything? I'm not. That's a lot. That's a lot. I think it was TN, FPL Planner, who's in the chat as well, who said, I think you need a hug. And I was like, yeah, I think I need a hug. I'll take it. But look, we've got an FPL meets coming up here in Sydney. So if you are in Sydney, do hit me up on the socials, and I'll let you know exactly where we're meeting. So I'll say it really quickly, but we are meeting next Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Keg and Brew in Surrey Hills, pretty central location. Hopefully the rooftop bar will be open, and hopefully it's not thunderstorms and beautiful, blue skies when we do meet, and hopefully about 25 degrees, because 30 degrees is way too much. But it would be great to have you attend FPL meets over here in Sydney. if you can make it. But like I mentioned, just hit me up on the socials if you are unsure about where the location is and all of that, and I'll send you some more details. So yeah, there you go. That was the tidal wave, or the shit truck that sort of landed on me this game week. And you're absolutely right. It was a bit of a blip, and yeah, absolutely, yeah, I'll be back. I'm looking forward to it. You know what? Last season, so if you haven't sort of heard me talk about this previously, last season I was 3 to 4 million rank for majority, like half of the season easily, and I finished 64k. So for me, it was a great challenge to just do better, play differently, change it up, make some more gut calls. Avoid too much content, avoid too much data. So yeah, I just tried to kind of approach my game in a different way, or the way I play, and still had fun as well. So I think it's important to share the highs and lows, and everything that you learn from that as well. But look, all my differentials failed. But look how high all of my differentials. I had like 6 differentials: Gordon, Lewis, Robinson, Saka, Fabianski, Timber, all above 80%. They all failed. It's crazy. There you go. I don't know if you can say Lewis is a fail, though, with 4 points. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's all right. But look at that. My transfers were awful. Like, my transfers are always awful. That's a really funny thing to say, given where I've been in terms of rank. But every week, I make shit transfers. They don't come off until the week after. So Gordon will probably start, fingers crossed, and hopefully he'll do well. Timber maybe will get an assist, who knows, or score a goal, who knows. So yeah, as soon as I make the transfer, it, it never goes well, but this time it's probably been the worst. So yeah, Marcus, it's definitely been a shocker. I absolutely agree. Anyway, so these are all the players that effectively, sort of against me. This is what I mean. I would have had a red arrow regardless. It was just inevitable given, where my game week was at. But in terms of where I'm at in general, so TN FPL Planner put up, the FPL optimized graph chart thing, which sort of tells you where your flat line, in my case, is supposed to be, more or less. Hey FPL hippie, great to see you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Great to have you. So like I love looking at some of the where you're supposed to be data, because yes, that sort of dotted yellow line, which is very low down, is my popcorn sort of sit back and enjoy. Yeah, fair enough. But it's been a massive roller coaster for me. Like everything's been going well. Then I sort of plateaued a little bit, had a nice climb, was zen for a little while. And then I've just been on this free fall this past sort of game week. And I'm hoping to catch a rocket and go back up again. So look, that's the plan anyway. But you know what? Whatever, we'll just kind of work it out as we go. And I'm only planning 2 or 3 game weeks ahead anyway, because it's just that kind of season, and I'm challenging myself to only plan 2 or 3 game weeks ahead, and I'm finding over planning is not really helping. And so look, I'm only 10 points away from top 10k, so whatever, it's okay. So at least that's the story that I'm telling myself. But as you can tell from this stream, there was a lot of rage pegged up there, because it was like, you can take tiny red arrows. It's like death by 1,000 cuts or death by 1,000 stabs. And this definitely felt like 1,000 stabs. Anyway, enough of that. So look, there's definitely some hope there. But just to kind of like contextualize this a little bit more, let me see if I can zoom into this. Just using my collaboration board to do this. But yeah, you can see that it's been a steady, I can't complain. And I'm sorry if it comes across like I am complaining and stuff, but I think you just gotta really unpack the things that have gone wrong. And so actually, interestingly, I was going to do a retrospective. So I usually do 2 or 3 retrospectives every season. So, last season I did it on my YouTube channel when I started doing, YouTube content. But the season before that, I was just sharing it on X at the time, or Twitter at the time when it was called Twitter. But I tend to do a bit of a retrospective to look back at the first, season 1 to season sort of 12, 13 game weeks game week 1 to game week 13 also, and then game week, so do it in like thirds also, and look back and have a look and, see what went wrong and all of that kind of thing. But if I sort of summarize that really quickly, you can see from game week 1 right up to even game week 4, it's been fairly steady. It's not been, there's not been that many huge moments where I've done things. I mean, I wildcarded in game week 6 over here. And so you can see that, I had a bit of a drop in game week 6, and then, went back up again, dropped again a few more times, and then, sort of steadied everything to get back up again. So yeah, look, I'm pretty confident that it'll be okay. It'll be good to, work out what went wrong. And, look, captaincy is just going to be tough every time, I think. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But anyway, looking at the league really quickly. So I started the league this season for the first time. So it's called Play Off the Cuff. The league code's on the screen, but I'll read it out for anyone that's listening as well. So VHTW60. It's VHTW60. If you are not joined, please do join. I haven't worked out what the prize will be. Maybe I'll work out a prize. Let's see. Sponsored by my own company. Who knows? We'll work it out. But in first place at the moment is David Westrope, and I think that's Drama Droid on X, who's having a fantastic season as well, and is doing very, very well. So yeah, congratulations to David, who's topped the table there, and Harry Potter. You're a wizard, Harry. So yeah, Harry Potter is in second place. Marius, who was like topping the league for so long, he was in top 1K. He had a massive drop down. I think he captained João Pedro, which is a real shame because yeah, he was doing so well. But again, we move, we look forward. Pabs, who I had on my channel a couple of game weeks ago, to talk about his team. He's making some really good decisions. Check out his channel. He's FPL Impulse on Twitter and on Blue Sky and on YouTube. He's making some really good decisions. I think he's hit top 10K or something like that now, or top 15K or something like that. But he's doing really well. Please do check out his channel as well. So yeah, please do join the league if you fancy competing with some really, really good managers, like not including myself in that because I'm out of the top 5 there. Yeah, there's some really good managers in this league at the moment. So, and I'll try and work out a prize and maybe I'll grab something while I'm in London and off to see the Liverpool and Spurs match at White Hart Lane. So I'm very excited about that. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm catching up with Chaz, who's in the chat as well, Charlie Roberts, and we're going to go and see the Spurs versus Liverpool match live at White Hart Lane for game week 17. I kind of feel like I have to captain Salah that game week, but that's a next week conversation. Let's look at some of the fixtures. Actually, we'll go over here. We'll look at the Rob T FPL graphic. So this just dropped a little while ago, so I haven't really had the chance to have a look at it in a bit more detail and just kind of assess what's going on over here. But yeah, there's some obvious things that are standing out there, right? So this is the projected goals and clean sheet odds graphic that Rob T FPL releases around this sort of time, which is really funny because every time I start a stream or plan to video or whatever, I end up seeing his graphic dropping and end up being a little bit late. So maybe I need to have a chat with him about dropping it maybe half an hour early or something. Anyway, so Arsenal looks like have the highest clean sheet odds there with 52%. So I'm really hoping that Gabriel. So actually, if I don't show you my bus team but show you this graphic, it's just next door to that one. So Gabriel has been cited. So Tommy Gunn, who does, kind of rocks up, and so does Andy Martin, but, Tommy Gunn, who sort of rocks up at various places to go and see if Arsenal team, if they've turned up at, I don't know, hotels or whatever. Yeah, it looks like he's been cited, so yeah, that'll be really interesting. But I'm really counting on Gabriel being around and available for game week 16. So Arsenal have the highest clean sheet odds, quite a few goals there as well. So 2.45, which is really high. Newcastle is very high as well. And Neil, great to see you in the chat, Neil. Thanks again for tuning in as always. Yep, Newcastle very high. It's going to be tough going without Isak this week. Yeah, absolutely. That is a really, really high goals there in terms of what's expected. Let's see. I've got Gordon. I'm really hoping that Gordon can get in on that action if he starts. Barnes has been playing really well, so it's going to be really tricky, I reckon, to see what happens. But let's see. You know, fingers crossed. Gordon plays. You know, it's one of those. It's one of those players like where it was a bit of a punt pick. That spot is a bit of a rotating spot because yeah. Look, if I show you my my team again. You know, that spot there, the Gordon pick. I mean, if you look at the rest of the midfielders, everyone's pretty much got Saka, Palmer, Salah, and you've probably got Rodgers or now Enzo, let's say. If you don't have a Gordon or an Mbumo or a Bowen or a Bruno, you're probably thinking about Enzo. But there's not many other players that people are jumping onto. So maybe you still have Johnson. Maybe you've got Madison. I don't know. So I think from that point of view, I decided to go Mbumo to Gordon. So I'm really hoping that that particular transfer pays off this time round. Let's see. Let's see what happens there. So other obvious ones, I think that so this graphic is if it's telling me anything, it's saying there's going to be a shit ton of goals this game week. A lot of goals. So over 2 goals, we've got Arsenal versus Everton, Newcastle versus Leicester, City versus United. Sorry, United fans. I know there's loads of United fans in the chat right now. Tottenham versus Southampton as well. Liverpool versus Fulham, Chelsea versus Brentford, all over 2 goals. That's going to be crazy. So it's going to be a goal fest. Now, out of the teams that I've just mentioned, I've got 3 players from Arsenal. I've got 1 from Newcastle. I've got nobody from City, which is weird. Can you imagine even thinking that at the beginning of the season that, you're going to be a third of the way through of the season and you don't have any City players, in my case anyway. So there you go. That's just the way it is. I've got no players, given Lewis's, red card. I've got no Spurs players either anymore, so yeah, that's going to be tricky. And I've only got Salah in the team at the moment as well. And for Chelsea, I've got Jackson, who is the guy on this graphic, and of course Palmer. So I think captaincy is going to be very, very interesting. And I saw this meme from FPL Trolls where Palmer, Salah, and the guy sweating, choosing between them. What are you guys thinking from captaincy point of view? Like, where's your captaincy at? So Shahir, you think that Salah's going to get a hat trick? Yeah, look, Salah has been involved. His XGI, so expected goal involvement, is about 80% or something like that for the goals that Liverpool scores, right? So that's really high. That is really high, right? Like at that point, you're sort of thinking you've got to probably go with Salah. But when you look at this graphic again and you look at Chelsea's goals, that's more than Liverpool's goals right now. And I think it's because the way Chelsea are playing, right? And Brentford have been awful away. They're conceding. I think so. FPL Crisis sent me a really good graphic, which I don't know. I'll see if I can try and sort of bring up. So he had some data on how many goals, were scored, or how many goals have been conceded. Let me see if I can find that. It was a really interesting graphic there. And yeah, I'm honestly surprised how many more than 3 goals or something like that were scored. Let me see if I can grab it. Let's just paste it in here. Will it let me? Maybe. Paste. Where is the paste? Am I just being blind? Maybe I'm being blind. No? Maybe not. It doesn't want me to paste it. Did I copy it? Oh my gosh. Let me drag and drop it. No. Oh, yeah. Just let me drag and drop it. All right. There you go. It's going to be huge. 1 second. Let me just kind of sort this graphic out. See, I told you, this is super off the cuff. There you go. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at this in a bit more detail. So, this graphic that FPL Crisis sent me, loved it because it sort of shows you from a goals conceded point of view. 1 second, let me just kind of zoom out from there so you can see the whole thing. It's probably looking tiny if you're looking on your phone, so I apologize. And those that are listening, it's just a goals conceded and overall how many goals have each of the teams conceded. So Arsenal, for example, they've only conceded, they've conceded two goals about 5 times. Basically, so that's what this graphic is showing. And interestingly, when you look at, let me see if I can highlight out where, let's just kind of make this transparent and make the border nice and red. I will show you where Brentford is. So if you look at Brentford, oh, come on. Here we go, Brentford. Look at that. All right, so let's look at Brentford. Brentford have conceded more than 3 goals 4 times. That's really high. That is really, really high. So I can see why. The expected goals for Chelsea is as high as it is because look, they have conceded a lot of goals. But if we look at Fulham, while we're at it, let's look at Fulham. Sorry, we won't do that. We will copy that thing and just move that down to, where's Fulham? Here we go. There's Fulham. Let's look at Fulham. So Fulham have had conceded more than 4 goals once, more than 3 goals twice, but that's still like a lot. That's still less than Brentford. So I can see why, that is an option, right? So when you then, look at this graphic, it makes a lot of sense. But if you look at like the other teams here as well, so Wolverhampton, look at that. Wolves have scored more than 4 goals 4 times. That's really high. So really, really good. Anyway, so I guess like when it comes to captaincy, it's going to be super tricky. And like, let's look at, who else? So Isak is playing Ipswich. Oh gosh, why am I doing that? I've been like using Windows devices. Oh gosh. History. There we go. I've been using Windows device on my Mac interchangeably, and so I just tend to mess up like the shortcuts every time. So this is going to take a while to load up now. But while I'm loading that, let's just see what's happening in the chat. Okay. Well, this is back. Let's just grab that again. Sorry about that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pin you down so I can do this. Okay, let's go. All right, so there's Fulham, and there is, what were we going to look at? Leicester. Where's Leicester? There we go. Look at that. So Isak, if you have Isak in the team, why would you not? Why would you not captain Isak? Leicester have conceded more than 4 goals twice, more than 3 goals twice, more than 2 goals 6 times. So, like the average is really high there. So, I feel like if you have Isak, I definitely feel like, Isak is a good captaincy option there. But if I go back to the captaincy, so here are the options presented for game week 16. Obviously, Saka is a good captaincy option there again. Actually, what did it say for Everton over here? Let's just go back over here to have a look at that. Everton. Oh yeah, okay. So fairly high, like more than 4 goals twice. More than 3 goals 3 times. So Saka is Saka's a really good option as well. Really tough. really tough. Elder Forest is asking, enough of FPL. How did tennis go last week? It was bloody awesome. I played really well, and I played last night as well. And yeah, I'm really loving tennis at the moment. I'm just playing a lot of it, and yeah, really enjoying playing. It's great. It means I'm going to miss the Australian Open this time next year. Unfortunately, in Jan, I'm not going to be around for it. But yeah, it's okay. I try and go every year if I can. But yeah, I'm playing a lot of tennis at the moment. Anyway, so that's what we see from the expected goals perspective. And from a captaincy point of view, I'm very much on the fence. So right now I'm on Salah. But I'm definitely thinking about Palmer just because of, you saw some of that data for Brentford. It's looking pretty dire for them, and they're awful away anyway. So, yeah, I feel like it's a really good option, to go Palmer instead of Salah. But Salah's just on form and on fire as well, and I feel like Palmer. Realistically, I feel like it was, I don't want to say it's fluky or anything like that. He got 2 pens. So his open play goals seems to be a little bit lower at the moment. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you think Palmer is the better captaincy option this week instead of Salah, let me know. Let me know in the chat and what you're thinking about that and why. Isak, like I said, really good option. Son, outside option away to Southampton. Watkins, Nottingham. I feel like you're not going to go Watkins or Son if you've got Salah, Saka, Palmer or Isak. And in fact, even then, after Saka's blank, you might not want to go there either. So it's really between Salah, Palmer and Isak, I feel, this game week. So yeah, anyway, so we're hitting about 50 minutes or so on the stream. Yeah, I'm happy to start sort of asking for any questions. If you want to take any form of random advice from me. Actually, it's not really going to be advice. It's just, what I would do. Yeah, I'm happy to share, what I'm thinking at the moment. I'm hoping that this was the game week where all the shit landed on me and everything went wrong, and hopefully things resume as normal. Normal business will resume. I'm really hoping anyway. Let's see. So this is where I'm going to need your help, and I really do appreciate it. So thanks in advance. That I am thinking about various captaincy options. Yes, but that's a Saturday deadline sort of problem. But the problem that I have that I need to solve is where to go with my team. So this is what my transfer plans looks like at the moment for game week 16. So my bus team for game week 16 at the moment looks like Fabianski in goal against Bournemouth away. It's either that or going Flecken away to Chelsea. Now that might be a better option. So let me know what you would do. What you would do about Flecken or Fabianski there. I think there's plenty of save points in the if I play Flecken. So yeah, maybe something like that. Yelena, so great to have you in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Great way to think about it. Bad luck is out of the way now. Absolutely. And Yelena, I tuned into your interview with FPL Have a Beer, and really, really enjoyed it. If you haven't checked out Yelena's channel, please do check it out. She does these incredible vlogs, and they're so well edited. So a massive shout out to Yelena, one of my favorite FPL channels that I love tuning into on a regular basis. It's one of the first ones that I go to. But she does this sort of, vlog format where snippets of videos have been taken ahead of the game week, and then during the game week, and then after the game week as well, which is so, so good. It's just really funny, and it's like a proper vlog, so it's got the record kind of thing on the corners of the video as well. So yeah, it's really, really good. Please do check it out. I think Yelena, you started doing that this season, so I'm really enjoying it. Love it. Don't stop. Anyway, so in terms of my team, so I'm thinking Fabianski, Flecken at the moment. Not sure. That's probably another bloody 50-50 decision. Gabriel, I'm hoping he'll play. I mean, he's been cited, so like just to show you again, he's been cited. So Tommy Gunn, shout out to Tommy Gunn, who sort of rocks up or sees whenever Arsenal players are sort of there's uncertainty around Arsenal players anyway. He's always there to sort of save the day. Or Andy Martin when he turns up to the hotels, depending on which part of the UK the hotel's at. So Gabriel hopefully will play Timber as well. So I've decided to go double Arsenal defence. But look, if Gabriel is not an option, I maybe would go Gabriel to elsewhere, because I don't know how long I would keep Gabriel on the bench before sort of going, hey, something's not right over here. So yeah, I'd rather sort of cut my losses and maybe even go Trent. Who knows? Let's see. Greaves at the moment, it's a bloody joke, isn't it? I don't even know if the guy's going to be on the bench for Ipswich, right? So if he doesn't start, will he even be on the bench? Like, what's the point? So my options are, from a defensive point of view, and this is where I need your help. From a defensive point of view, my options are start Greaves and hope. And I guess the good thing is that if he doesn't start, he's not going to be on the bench, right? But my defensive option, my only other defensive option is Robinson against Liverpool. How shit is that? How shit is that? So my only other option is Robinson against Liverpool, which, look, maybe Liverpool would concede a goal. They could. Fulham have been great. Like, defensively, they have been good. But also Robinson's just been a really good player in my side, and I've had a lot of points coming from Robinson as well. So I feel pretty lucky to have him in the team, and he's just been, a gift and just keeps giving. So, really useful to have him, in the team. So look, I could, worst case scenario, if I want to roll the transfer, I would probably play Robinson, and that's currently where I'm at and what I'm thinking. But the other option is I take out Lewis for one of the four guys that I've got on my screen right now. So I've got Lewis Hole as an option. I've got Levi Colwill as an option, Milos Kerkez or Daniel Munoz as an option as well. And I'll chat you through those in a moment. So while I've got that on the screen there, let me know what you're thinking in the chat, like what I could do, any pros and cons that sort of spring to mind with some of the players that I've just mentioned there. But otherwise in my midfield, I would have Gordon, and then I'll have Mo Salah captain, and then I'd have Saka, Palmer, vice captaincy on Saka at the moment. That's just because I hadn't really changed it when I moved my captaincy around, so I need to kind of fix that up, because we learnt the hard way on the weekend how important it is to pick your vice captain. So please do pick a good vice captain, because shit could happen. Weather could happen, just kind of Mother Nature taking its course, right? And then in my forward line, I've got Jackson, João Pedro, and Cunha. And interestingly, all home fixtures except for Greaves, if Greaves plays, Robinson and Fabianski there, but the rest of them are all home fixtures. So yeah, really happy about that. Rodgers would be on the bench then, away fixture to Forest. So yeah, not too sure about that, but. Yeah, I guess like my team defensively is not looking very good. So I'm not sure where to go. And Chelsea fans, Yelena, other Chelsea fans, let me know what you think about Colwill. It's a really boring pick, I feel. Maybe like I wouldn't mind Gusto. Like Gusto would be really good, but he just doesn't seem nailed enough. I don't know. It's I mean, Neil, thank you so much. Yeah, chef's kiss for the front 8 players. Yeah, I've been playing pretty attacking this season, so I've definitely been prioritizing my midfield and forward spots, and less so like when you look on the live FPL sort of like how good your different kind of midfield, defense and forward is looking, it shows like my defense looking fairly weak. So yeah, it's okay. We're getting there. I'm slowly, bit by bit, changing up my defense. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at and what I'm thinking. I'll tell you who I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards a Chelsea defender at the moment, purely because given the fixtures that they have, so they've got Brentford at home, they've got Everton away, and then they've got Fulham at home in the next 3 at the very least. But if I go to the Actually, let me go to the hop on, hop off fixtures from Lego Mane. So if I go to this fixture ticker, Chelsea have got really good fixtures. So if I just read out the next sort of, I don't know, 7 or 8 fixtures. So Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves. Then they've got City, which doesn't seem like a tough fixture anymore. 20 game week 24 and game week 25, you then got West Ham and Brighton. So during that time, I guess there could be some clean sheets. I don't know. What do you reckon? Surely a few clean sheets there. And Colwill seems like the most safest option, although GV, what are you saying over here? So Palace will concede 1 goal, so Colwill will get 2 points. Don't play Colwill. Oh gosh, all right. But look, given these fixtures, would you not want to go Colwill? So the other option was Kirkes, and I think we've got, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Brazan, maybe? It's a silent R. Kirkes has been a good buy for me these past few game weeks. Fixtures look decent for him. Bournemouth obviously look good, very good this season. I completely agree. So if we look at Bournemouth's fixtures, so they've got West Ham coming up. Then they've got United, which again isn't really a tough fixture. We need to have a chat with Lego Mane about some of these tough fixtures because City and United are not really tough fixtures. Anyway, they've then got Palace, Fulham, Everton in the next sort of 5, game weeks. That's not too bad. And so yeah, I'm definitely looking at Kirkes as a strong option. The only reason why I was leaning towards, I guess, Colwill and Chelsea is because the sea or the bricks of green that I see for Chelsea in this fixture ticker at the moment is the only reason why I'm thinking that. But yeah, look, Kirkes is a really good option as well. Lewis Hall, I think if you look at Newcastle's fixtures, so Newcastle's fixtures, Leicester and Ipswich are probably the only 2 fixtures where I'm like, maybe there could be some clean sheets there, but I just don't trust the Newcastle defence as well. So not sure. Anyway, so the other option was Munoz. So if we look at Palace, they've got Brighton, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Southampton, Chelsea, Leicester, West Ham, Brentford. I don't mind that. And he's just got back-to-back goals as well. And so it's definitely a really good, viable option. So yeah, look, that's the only reason why I'm thinking some of the players that, I had up on the screen there with between, Hall. I think we can probably go, Hall is probably not a good idea. Colwill maybe on the off chance that Chelsea keep a, clean sheet. But I think the players that excite me the most, actually, I should probably take some notes as I go because I'm probably going to forget this and not watch this back. So probs not. Let's just do that over here and then copy and paste that over here. Or actually, maybe. Let's just do maybe over here. Maybe. And then I think, I think these 2 picks are probably the most exciting picks. So let's just go yay and yay. That's what I'm thinking at the moment in terms of the exciting picks. And yeah. So the other option is, do I roll the transfer? Do I just roll? Could I just roll and kind of give up on the defense a little bit and just presume that I'm maybe not going to get that many points? So good question about cash. I probably should have mentioned that. Let me have a look. I have no idea how much cash I've got. Oh God. I think I've got enough to... I haven't got enough to afford Trent, unfortunately, if that's what you're thinking, Neil. I'd love to be able to afford Trent. I've only got 1.4 mil only. I've got 1.4 mil in the bank, which is a decent amount. So I could definitely sort of upgrade in the defense. I can't afford, unfortunately, I could probably only afford Robertson, and I don't really want to go Robinson. So GV saying for your rank, roll the transfer. You're right. Sometimes it's better to just do nothing. Maybe. But yeah, I'm not feeling good about I could probably get a 1-pointer, 2-pointer from Robinson, maybe, and that might be okay. I think the only reason why I'm thinking I should probably make a transfer is there's a low chance that Gabriel will start. right? So I think it all comes down to Gabrielle. And if Gabrielle's going to start, then great. Yeah. Um, Puna, oh my gosh. Only 1.4 mil. Tell me you're a Gucci without telling me you're a Gucci. Totally inside cultural joke there. But yeah, I am from the region of Gujarat. At least my family is from the region of Gujarat, and I am a Gujarati. That is true. And that is also true. So yeah, it's not enough, man. It's not enough money. But fun fact, my parents actually born and brought up in East Africa, in Kenya. And so, yeah, we're Gujaratis from East Africa and then moved to the UK via Bangalore for a short while. So I do have some family in India, but never sort of lived there or, just visited as a tourist. And they know that you're a tourist as well. So, yeah, I feel like it's always a weird conversation, especially over here in Australia when you jump in a taxi and they ask you, where are you from? And you're like, well, I'm from the UK. And they're like, no, where are you really from? I'm like, well, I'm really from the UK. So it's a hilarious conversation until we sort of, trace back the roots to India at some point, a couple of generations back. Anyway, look, those are my transfer thoughts. I'm going to scroll back and see if there were any questions that I could grab out. I'm so sorry if I've missed them along the way. That's really interesting, Bruna. Yeah, cool. Yemeni Gujarati, that's brilliant. I've got a couple of friends who are Yemeni Gujarati as well, from Dubai as well. Yeah, it's really small world. But in terms of questions and things, feel free to drop me any questions if there were any. That's interesting. Official med, Flecken to own Nana or Allison for long term. Yeah, I feel like Allison's a really good pick now that he's back, and yeah, he's probably going to be starting as well. Onana, nah. It's really funny because over here in Australia we do this nah, yeah, nah, to say yes or no. It could be either, depending on the variations of the nah. And I feel like Onana is a nah. I don't know. Like after seeing him try to place that ball, not sure about that. Yeah. What else? Guys, I'm not getting much help on the defensive picks. Help me out here. Yeah. Anything else that I could be doing? Okay, if you had Haaland, would you have captained him against United? Yes, but not this week, right? Like, let's have a look at that. Let's go back to... good night, Tien. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Thanks again, Tien. So let's just have a look at the projected clean sheets and goals. So you're thinking captaining Haaland against United. Whew. I think it's a really good captaincy shout. I think the only problem is that you're going up against so many other good captaincy options, right? So you're going up against Isak, who's really highly owned now. I don't own Isak, but he is really highly owned. You've also got, Saka, maybe a few captaincy, options there, like people going there. But Chelsea and Liverpool, I think most will go with Palmer and Salah. So, yeah, I think this is the lowest EO around me that I've seen from Haaland, which is really strange. It's definitely something that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I think he is an absolute differential right now. So I do think it's a good captaincy option. But personally, I wouldn't go there if I had Haaland. I think I would if it wasn't this game week. I think given the other captaincy options are very, very strong, I just don't think it's worth it. Seems I'm invisible, lol. FYI, Gabrielle's Insta story shows him training. Ooh. Hope that helps everyone trying to make a decision. I'm getting him in. Thank you so much, Sushant. I really do appreciate you dropping that. You are not invisible. Thank you for mentioning that. It seems like, if you didn't see it, like I did sort of mention that Tommy Gunn, make that bigger. Tommy Gunn did say that Gabriel has been cited, and yeah, I imagine that's got way more likes now and maybe some commentary around that. But yeah, it's looking good for Gabriel. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, it's a tough one. Crisis. So Ash is saying Chelsea scoring so much, it's hard for defenders to grab bonus. Kirker's just as good option, but less reliable team. Yeah, that's fair. Hey Manon, lovely to see you. Sorry if I've missed some of your messages. Great to see you in the chat. Yeah, Arsenal in the Champions League tonight, so we'll know more then. Yeah, definitely. I don't think Gabriel was seen there, but yeah, let's see what happens. I think that's pretty much it. Look, if there's no other questions, we'll sort of end the stream there. It's been a slightly longer one. It's always a little bit rambly. There's like 43 of you watching. Please do subscribe. I've recently found a whole bunch of new people found my stream through YouTube because of probably the likes and shares and things like that. So I really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed this kind of rambly stream, and a bit of swearing, so I do apologize. I don't swear as much anymore. I don't know, like I'm trying to temper my swearing a little bit. But yeah, if you like this kind of content, please do like and subscribe. Do appreciate your support. But otherwise, yeah, let me know if there's anything else that I should be thinking about if you're tuning in later. If you think of anything else, after the stream as well, come back and leave me a comment. I do love reading all your comments. I love the engagement with the FPL community. You guys have been awesome, giving me really good suggestions and advice along the way. So yeah, please do leave me a comment if you think I should bring in a player or change my captaincy or anything like that. Let me know what you're thinking and what you're thinking about for your own game week as well and your own team. So yeah, let me know how it goes for you. But otherwise, yeah, leave me a comment. Love reading your comments. I'll always reply as well. But otherwise, yeah, have a great rest of the game week or rest of the week ahead of the game week. Enjoy the Champions League, and hopefully I will catch you next week. In fact, before I go, so next week I'm getting FPL Meerkat, so Charlie, FPL Meerkat from the FPL community over in the UK to do a stream next week. So look out for that. Subscribe so that you can, catch that notification as well. I'm just working out exactly when that's going to be. I think it's probably going to be on Wednesday. So for us over here in Australia, it's probably going to be 8 a.m. on Wednesday, and I'll probably pop that up fairly soon. And it will probably be 9 p.m. on Tuesday night after game week 16 is over. So yeah, if you're around, let me know. And it'll be great to have you in the chat as well. So yeah, so FPL Meerkat will be joining me next week ahead of game week 17 because I think I'm going to need a lot of help going into game week 17, given that I'm going to be traveling all the way to the UK, and in between that time, I'm sure there'll be lots of news as well. So as I mentioned, I'm heading to the UK next Friday. I'm going to go and catch the Spurs versus Liverpool match with Chaz, who's in the chat as well. And if you're around in the UK, I'm going to be in the UK till the 5th of January. So would love to catch up. If anyone fancies a catch up, drop me a message on the socials. I'm FPL Mez on all of the socials. So yeah, drop me a note. Would love to catch up. Maybe we can organise a impromptu, off the cuff meets of some sorts or in London. Thanks again, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate your support. Take care. Green arrows to all of you, and all the best. And catch you next week.